Hi, I'm Jill. Most of you probably don't know me, so hi, so nice to meet you. I'm Jill. I said that already. For those of you that do know me, I'm so glad you're here too. And I wanted to let you know that there's also part of me you probably don't know. Like, I'm pretty 100% sure you don't know. Anyways, the past few years have been really interesting, and there's been a new project that I'm working on. I actually wrote a book. And so today I wanted to share with you the first chapter of my book. So if you'd like to stick along, the first chapter is called Jack and the Absurd Botanical Metaphor. Here goes. Jack Daniel's honey whiskey is a dangerous drink. You never know when you'll be peacefully sipping a glass of it on the rocks with your dearest friend in her kitchen, chatting about park days and meal plans and annoying things husbands do. And then bam, you are a blubbery, red-faced ball of tears confessing your soul's deepest fears. That's what Jack does. They just leave the warning label off the bottle. Tisa, rhymes with Lisa, has been my nearest and dearest pal in recent years. We met at a bounce house place in 2016, and we're the only two parents there. Since Tisa's an extrovert, and I hate to appear rude by running screaming into a quiet corner, we conversed while our kids bounce their excessive energy away. Tisa also gives really good advice, even to strangers. I confessed my struggles with my daughter's education in public school. She told me to homeschool, so I did. Year after year, this pattern continued. I had a problem that seemed insurmountable, and Tisa tuned in with her supersonic listening skills, undistracted by phone dings and children falling off of trampolines. Then she dispensed sage words of wisdom. She helped when I was venting about a relative and whatever boundary they were trying to take a chainsaw to at the moment. She helped when I was trying to figure out how to get a chartreuse couch that I impulsively bought off Facebook Marketplace back to my house. She helped when my son Ollie seemed to be exhibiting some neurodivergent tendencies. So it's no surprise that she would be the first non-therapist, or should I say unpaid therapist, that I would divulge my secret to. But sharing my life-altering, soul-freeing truth with her was not actually part of my plan. In hindsight, the thought of keeping the information from her seemed ridiculous because she is quite possibly the most perfect person in the world to share it with. But that wasn't part of my plan. No sharing, not ever, not with anyone other than the therapist I was actually paying, not even with Tisa. For some reason, I felt like I had already done enough and would be okay having told two different therapists my two different truths. I felt like since the words had exited my mouth and were into the universe, that would be enough to go on with my happy daily life. The problem was, I now knew what was wrong with me. Nothing. Nothing was wrong with me. I was perfectly whole. And as I write this, Handel's Messiah chorus, Hallelujah, is blasting through my earbuds. Yes, hallelujah indeed, universe, hallelujah indeed. That realization became a seed of truth that was now planted in my soul, and that seed wanted to grow. I could feel the roots of my truth beginning to innervate my insides. Its tendrils curled up around my brain and bloomed in my thoughts. As I became filled with my truth, I realized a very scary thing. Keeping this truth inside of my body pot was going to cause root rot. Just like a real plant, it would become unhealthy and would wither and die if it didn't get the proper space and nourishment it needed. Fun fact, I am no green thumb, not with real plants and certainly not with propagating the soul seeds of truth that grow through my body. So I opted for the keep it in and let it die approach. Because the thing about this truth plant is that not everyone would find it beautiful. I knew I was going to risk a whole lot of, whoa, what happened to you? Or how did you not know you had this plant growing within you? Or worse, that is a disgusting plant and you should be ashamed. I knew that the moment the pot broke open, my easy, happy world might break apart as well. My relationship of 18 years would be done. I might lose my kids. I might lose our house. I might lose my business. Faced with a wide open future full of potentially horrible unknowns, keeping my secret felt safer. Even keeping it from Tisa, who would say, "Come here, you beautiful weirdo," and embrace me with open arms. It was terrifying. That's where our good pal Jack Daniels comes in. I'm not much of a drinker, but that night in Tisa's kitchen, whilst the children ran amok like beautiful feral homeschoolers, a glass of Jack's honey whiskey on the rocks felt like just the thing I needed to temporarily pause that then constant feeling of fear that had become a part of my daily life. So we sipped and talked and sipped and talked. I listened to her vent about marriage frustrations and fears, and then she said, "How are you in Christian?" That was it. The magical words that made the pot crack open and forced my insides to slowly start leaking out in the form of tears and a now Rudolph red nose. My brain started fighting me on telling her what was going on, but good old Jackie boy punched back those brain cells and the words fumbled out of my mouth. "I'm not straight," I choked out, followed by more tears than I knew my body was capable of producing. I don't recall the exact words she said, just that her jaw kind of dropped and her eyes grew wide. I think she uttered something to the extent of, "Wow, not what I was expecting. I thought you were going to say he was cheating on you, and I was about ready to go beat him up." That is a true, true friend there. And then she seemed almost happy. Or maybe she was proud of me. Or maybe she had gas. Regardless, the most genuine, caring smile crossed her face. And I knew that I was going to be okay. She liked my plant. I felt like I had just received permission to bloom. I wish I had been the journaling type of lesbian back then and had written down exactly how our conversation went. The truth of the matter is that my brain turned to total mush, just as it has done over and over every time I come out to a new person. The extreme fear turns to elation and love, and my brain seems to shut down from the shock of it all. That conversation is funny to me in hindsight because not once did I use the term lesbian. I just couldn't say it. I'm not even sure I could say gay that night. Not straight was all I could offer. It made me realize that maybe I wasn't all of a sudden okay and accepting of myself just because I had said it in therapy. This was only the start of my next journey, my new life. I was quickly watching the story that I had written over the past 38 years close and hoping that the next book to come would not be a total horror story and that there was some sort of happy ending. Either way, there was no going back now. I was not straight, and the outside world was starting to know. And now you know too. I would love to hear your thoughts on chapter 1, either in the comment section or you can send me a DM if you'd rather send your comments personally. I probably won't go on social media much today because, as I mentioned, that aforementioned fear, love, brain shutdown thing is my 40th birthday, so I think I'm just going to shove a lot of cake in my face instead. If you liked the story and you want to hear more, the best way to get updates and to hear snippets of future chapters is to follow me on Facebook or Instagram. My handle is @JillWritesWords. I write words. You can also shoot me a DM with your email, and once I get my email list up and running, I can add your email to that as well, okay? I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening to my story. If you know of anyone else that could be helped by this story, so that maybe they don't feel so alone in their process, I would love for you to share it, or tag people. I know that my story is not unique. There are a lot of people who have gone through this or are going through this right now. Glennon Doyle definitely beat me to the punch in like a way cooler way. But the one thing I have learned is that everyone's story is unique, and the more that we tell these stories, the easier it gets for the future. So thank you again. I appreciate you. I love you. I can't wait to hear what you think. Thank you for being a part of my journey.